You've decided Sonos is right for your home cinema, but which setup is actually best for your space? We've helped thousands of people build their Sonos setups, and in this very buying guide, we'll walk you through everything from soundbars to subwoofers to rears, so you can build the best Sonos system for your space, and of course, for your budget. Now, we'll also be sharing the best combinations for different budgets and of course give some top tips along the way. Now, there's a lot to cover in this one, so feel free to use the chapters below to help. This has been a hugely requested video, so let's get into it. Hey guys, it's Louis here from Smart Home Sounds, and if you do find this video helpful and you want to support us, we're a Sonos retailer here in the UK. We offer an extended 6-year warranty on Sonos as well as extended return, so if it's not right for you, you're covered. Now, as always, this video isn't about selling you the most expensive setup. We want to find the right solution for you and of course, get the most out of your budget. Now, Sonos's lineup includes wireless speakers, soundbars, subwoofers, and architectural speakers, all of which can be combined in different ways to create a home cinema setup. To keep things simple, we'll start off by breaking it down into your key 3 ingredients: soundbar, bass, and rear surround sound. The soundbar is the foundation of any Sonos home cinema system. Now, if you're not familiar, Sonos is a wireless ecosystem which runs over your Wi-Fi. Now, that means that you can add rear speakers or a subwoofer wirelessly at any time. So if you're not ready to commit to a full system up front, you can start with just a soundbar and build from there. There are 3 Sonos soundbars: the Ray, the Beam Gen 2, and the Arc Ultra, which simply put, form a good, better, best lineup. The Sonos Ray is the most compact Sonos soundbar, priced at £199. It's ideal for smaller or secondary spaces, like a bedroom, a study, or small lounge. Now, a lot of people use it as a gaming soundbar, and we actually think it's a great music speaker too. It's front-facing, so you could put it in a media unit or shelf, and for the price, is a very solid performer. There's a notable step up to the Sonos Beam Gen 2, which comes in at £449. Now, to tell you guys the truth, this is one of my favourite Sonos products. It's compact enough to work in most spaces, but delivers a much fuller and more immersive sound than the Sonos Ray, making it ideal for medium-sized living rooms. Now, I can already hear you guys in the comments. What actually counts as a medium-sized space? So here's a graphic that gives you some rough sizes as a bit of a guide for you. I will say rough because there will absolutely be cases where the Beam still works in a larger room or where the Arc Ultra might suit a medium-sized space, but it should give you a good starting point. Back to the Beam then. Now, this supports Dolby Atmos, giving a better sense of directionality, though it uses psychoacoustic processing rather than physical upwards firing speakers to achieve that. It does have drivers which are angled outwards to give a wider soundstage and offers great center channel clarity, probably the standout feature of this soundbar. The Beam features HDMI eARC for improved audio performance and is compatible with voice assistants, including Alexa, Google Assistant, and Sonos Voice. For many people, the Beam hits a real sweet spot between size, features, and sound performance. Now, stepping up again, we have the Sonos Arc Ultra, the latest addition to the lineup and the flagship soundbar in the range, coming in at £999. Now, as you might have guessed, this is the one to consider if you've got a larger living room or open plan space, as it delivers a far more expansive and impressive sound performance than the rest. Compared to the Beam, the Arc Ultra is physically larger with more drivers, including dedicated upwards and sideways firing drivers for a true Dolby Atmos experience. So instead of simulating height channels like the Beam does, the Arc Ultra physically fires sound around and above you. So when a plane flies overhead, you feel it move across the room. The Arc Ultra also delivers fantastic center channel clarity and packs a punch. It has a dedicated sound motion woofer which delivers a bass performance far beyond what you'd expect from something this sleek. It's a serious bit of kit, and if home cinema is a big deal in your household, then it could be worth the investment. Oh, and it's also the only soundbar which offers Bluetooth connectivity. It is worth noting that the Arc Ultra is fairly wide, so we generally recommend pairing it with TVs 55 inches and larger for the best visual balance. Likewise, the Beam tends to look and sound best with TVs 55 inches or smaller. Choosing between the 3 soundbars really does come down to 3 things: your room size and TV size, your budget, and whether you plan to add more components. Now, if you're in a smaller room or want something affordable and simple, the Ray does a great job. The Beam Gen 2, as I said, is the sweet spot for a lot of people, offering excellent performance while sitting under £500 and not taking up too much space either. And if you're after the best of the best and have the budget and the room to match, the Arc Ultra is for you. Okay, top tips for soundbars then. Now firstly, I'd recommend running Sonos' room optimization software, TruePlay Tuning, which will detect the space that your soundbar is in and make small tweaks to help it perform best. You can also get into the Sonos app and make your own adjustments too, including EQ adjustments. You can also toggle on night mode for lower volume levels when watching late at night, and speech enhancement, which will give the dialogue a boost to make it easier to follow along. With the Arc Ultra, you have even more control with 3 levels of speech enhancement. Whilst we're in the Sonos app, it's also good to highlight that when you're watching Dolby Atmos content and getting Atmos through your soundbar, through the Beam or Arc Ultra, this icon will pop up so you know that you're getting the right format. Now I will preface this by saying steps 2 and 3 are totally interchangeable. You might choose to add a subwoofer first if bass is your top priority, or you might go for rears first if you're looking for more immersion by placing sound all around you. But let's talk about the subwoofers first. Sonos has 2 options, the more compact Sub Mini and its bigger, more powerful sibling, the Sub 4. Both are designed to enhance the low end of your setup, adding depth, punch and that cinematic rumble that you struggle to get from a soundbar alone. But they do have another added benefit. By taking over the lower frequencies, they free up your soundbar to focus on the mids and highs, so the entire system performs better. Now both technically go down to 25 Hz, but they deliver very different experiences at 2 different price points, so let's break that down. The Sub Mini is a compact cylindrical subwoofer which retails for £429. Its smaller footprint makes it ideal for rooms where space is limited or where you want something to blend in. While it doesn't hit as hard as the larger Sub 4, in most small to medium-sized rooms, it more than holds its own, and people are often surprised by just how much it transforms the sound. We often say it's the Beam's best friend, as the two are a great match both in terms of price and performance, though it's also a great addition to the Sonos Ray, and in some setups, we now actually recommend it with the Arc Ultra due to the added bass that you get from the Sound Motion driver. If you want a notable boost in bass without going all out, then the Sub Mini is a great solution. And then we've got the Sub 4, the full-size flagship subwoofer in the Sonos range, which comes in at £799. This larger rectangular subwoofer has a signature central cutout with force-cancelling drivers which help eliminate any unwanted vibrations, so you can get nice powerful bass without any distortion. The Sub 4 offers seriously deep, room-filling low end, the kind that you can really feel in your chest. Now if you're into your action movies or you want that cinematic impact, this is the Sub for you. It's best suited to larger rooms or setups where you want maximum performance, particularly if you've gone for the Arc Ultra, though it also pairs well with the Beam if you're looking for more impressive bass. Aside from the size and power difference, the shape and design of the 2 Sonos subs also play a role in performance. Now the Sub Mini has a sealed cylindrical cabinet which helps keep bass tight and clean, but it can be a bit more placement sensitive, so you'll want to be careful with where you position it. Placing it on the same wall as your soundbar in the corner is usually a good starting point, but it will depend on your room layout. Just make sure that you leave enough room for the air to pass through the centre. The Sub 4 on the other hand has a larger open cabinet that moves air and fills the space more effectively. It's also non-directional, so you've got much more flexibility with placement. You can hide it behind furniture, place it off to the side, or even under a sofa and still get a strong, consistent bass across the room. You just need to make sure at least one side of the centre port isn't obstructed with at least 1 inch of clearance. Oh, and finally, for the real bass heads watching, you can pair 2 Sub 4s in a single setup for even more powerful, balanced bass. You can also pair a Sub 4 with a Sub Gen 3, so if you're upgrading from an older sub, then it doesn't go to waste. Though, quick word of warning, that is not the setup to go for if you're worried about disturbing your neighbours. In terms of top tips for subwoofers, TruePlay tuning will help optimize performance and make sure that the bass doesn't sound muddy or harsh. When you pair the Sub Mini or Sub 4 with your chosen Sonos product or products, the audio setting will automatically equalize to balance it all out, but you can also come into the Sonos app and manually adjust the bass level if you feel that you need to. There's also a phase toggle here where you can choose between 0 degrees or 180 degrees. Now, we'd suggest changing this if you feel like you're not hearing enough bass in your preferred listening position. But just bear in mind that this setting isn't available if you run TruePlay on your system. Okay, on to the final step then, adding rears. Now, if you're after a true surround sound experience, this is where it all comes together. Adding rears gives another level of immersion by placing sound around you rather than just in front. It's a more subtle addition, but does have a big impact on your viewing experience. Now, we have a few more options here, so I'm not going to do a deep dive into all of them, but you do have the choice of the Era 100s, Era 300s, Sonos 5s, the IKEA Symfonisk range, which is good for those on a tighter budget, and in-ceiling or in-wall speakers paired with the Sonos amp, though the Sonos Eras are the most common options here. Kicking off with the Era 100s then. Now, these are Sonos's entry-level wireless speakers and the most common addition in a Sonos home cinema setup. They retail at £199 each and are compact but powerful with a surprisingly wide soundstage. They are individually stereo speakers which give great separation, even when used behind you. The Era 100s can be wall-mounted or placed on a stand to put them at the ideal listening height. They work well with all three soundbars and offer a great balance of performance, size, and budget. Plus, you could always repurpose them in another room later for music if your setup changes. The Era 300s step up to £449 each, but do deliver an upgraded performance to match. These are designed for spatial audio, so they feature 6 drivers, including upwards and sideways firing speakers, so they can really throw sound around the room. When used as rears, especially with the Arc Ultra, they unlock a full Dolby Atmos surround experience with height channels at the back as well as at the front of the room. Now that means that now when a plane flies overhead, you feel it pass right over you, taking your immersion to the next level. Now, if the Sub Mini is the Beam's best friend, then the Era 300s are the Arc Ultra's best friend in my opinion, and they make a great pairing. It's worth noting that the Era 300s are larger than the Era 100s, so won't work in every space, and you do need to be more considerate with placement so you don't block any of the drivers and impact performance. Now, you technically could go for the Sonos 5s as rears, which wouldn't be my go-to solution, but for the right person, they can be incredibly powerful. They are the largest and most capable musical speakers in the Sonos lineup, which also deliver great bass. So if you use your home cinema setup for music, then you could definitely consider these. Though they do come in at £549 each and would be overkill in smaller spaces. For me personally, these are a fantastic stereo solution and almost wasted as rears, but that's just my opinion though. If you're short on space or just want a more discreet solution, you could look at using a Sonos amp and in-ceiling or in-wall speakers. Though, if you keep it all Sonos, you're looking at around about £1,000 for that setup. Out of the two, in-wall speakers tend to give a more realistic surround sound experience, keeping the audio at ear height, while in-ceiling speakers offer a more diffused ambient sound. Ultimately, it just comes down to what works best in your room and how you want the final setup to look. There are a few top tips for adding rears. Firstly, we'd recommend TruePlay again here. You simply sit in your watching position, run some audio tests, and the speakers will adjust, which is great for rooms where the ideal surround sound speaker positioning isn't possible. If possible, we generally recommend having your rear surrounds behind you at ear height. You can see here that we've actually got them to the side of the sofa, so we've angled them in just slightly. But just make sure you leave at least 8 inches of clearance around each speaker. Within the Sonos app, you can toggle the surround sounds on and off and let it know where you've placed the speakers. You can also adjust the volume of surrounds both for TV content and music, so depending on where you are, the soundbar and rears don't overpower each other. You could also go into music playback and choose whether the surrounds will add more subtle background ambient sounds or full range sound. And finally, you can come in here and adjust the height audio, which is definitely worth playing around with to see what you like in your space. Okay, so lots of options, but which bundle or combination is right for you? Well, one of the best things about Sonos is it's nice and flexible. So if one of the soundbars is calling out to you, you could just start with that and then see what you think is missing. But if you want to dive straight in with a full setup, here are some of the best bundles to consider based on budget and space. Coming in at just over £600, the Sonos Ray and Sub Mini is the best bundle for those on a tighter budget or kitting out a smaller room. It's compact yet still delivers a great cinematic setup, which will definitely be a big step up from your TV speakers. If you've set yourself a budget of £1,000, then the best combo would be to swap out the Ray for a Beam. Now, I've already said that the Beam and Sub Mini make a great pair, and for under £1,000, it's a fantastic little setup. You get Dolby Atmos, great bass, and that impressive center channel clarity from the soundbar, plus a good upgrade path with room to add rears later on. Speaking of, simply add a pair of Era 100 rears and you have your complete Sonos home cinema setup for under £1,500. Now, this is a hugely popular bundle, and I'd say the sweet spot of the Sonos lineup. A great package for the price point and a solid home cinema experience to match. Okay, now this one is a tie as I can't quite decide between the Arc Ultra, Sub 4 and Era 100 rears as a complete setup for that price, or the Arc Ultra and Era 300 rears for the best setup. It's a tough call and will depend on how important bass is for you. But personally, I think I'd actually go for the Arc Ultra and Era 300 rears, as the soundbar delivers a pretty decent bass performance as it is, and the combination with the Era 300 rears is so immersive for Atmos content that once you've heard it, you do not want to go back. Of course, for those after the best of the best, the top tier Sonos home cinema bundle is the full Arc Ultra setup with a Sub 4 and Era 300 rears. From full Dolby Atmos, both front and rear, to impressive bass, this setup really is a level above the rest. Of course, you can go all out and add a second sub if you really want to max out what Sonos currently offer. Now, as this buying guide has probably highlighted, there really is no one size fits all. Choosing the right setup comes down to so many factors, including your space, budget, and of course, what matters most to you. So I'm going to leave you with my final top tips. Number one, think about your long-term budget. Will you eventually want to expand your system later on? If so, then maybe prioritize the soundbar right now. On the other hand, if you've got a budget set and you want to get the most for your money right now, then a bundle could definitely be the smarter move. And finally, number two, don't forget about TruePlay tuning. Sonos' room optimization software can make a huge difference to how your system sounds in your home, especially if you don't have the perfect space. The same goes for making little tweaks in the Sonos app, including adjusting height channels, EQ, and more. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you've made it to the end, then thank you. Now, of course, it's over to you guys. If you've already got a Sonos system, or if this video has helped you make your mind up, jump into the comments and share it. I know our community loves hearing what other people have gone for. And a quick reminder that if you do want to support us, then you can of course head to smarthomesounds.co.uk. The team is more than ready to help with more specific questions or any advice. Or just simply subscribe to this channel. That's always also really, really appreciated. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll catch all of you in the next video.